Welcome back to another episode of the F1 Ultimate 2012 to 2025 career mode. We are gearing up for the Italian Grand Prix here with our character Christian Waters, who, if you've never jumped into one of these videos before, I highly encourage you to go back and watch the ones that have come before to get some background. I have in the description some parameters that this sort of playthrough RPG sort of thing is going to go by. But basically, all major decisions will be voted on by you guys. So I'm hoping that by the time we get some major decisions, we have a few more people watching the videos. But if not, I'll go with it. Now, just for some context, I haven't played F1 2012 in a long time, and this screen was really confusing me. I wasn't sure what the hell was going on, so that's why I'm going backwards and forwards, like, what the fuck is happening? And I accidentally choose Nico Rosberg as our rival, which is incredibly difficult and probably not what I would have chosen had I had the choice. But it is what it is, I guess. So yeah, on to practice then. Brilliant starting to turn one there, but yeah, we push on to lap 2 here as we do a cheeky pass around Carthagena. Monza's a pretty easy track, to be honest. There's not really a whole lot to it. You just got to put your foot flat to the floor and brake as late as possible and hope for the best. That's effectively the driving style required for this track. You don't get much time delta from the softer tyres versus the harder tyres, so I spent a couple laps on the hards, but then do a few laps on the mediums as well, just to sort of see the difference. And to be honest, it's just the out of corner acceleration that you get the major benefits from the softer tyre. But if you can carry a lot of speed into the corner, if you can just brake a lot later, then you sort of compensate for the lack of grip, I guess, on the softer tyres. In this case, I think it's the hard and the very hard, or the extra hard, or I'm not really sure. I think I actually, from memory, I think it's just the medium and the hard that they've got at this track. As you can see, we're on lap 5, our 5th lap in practice, and setting some really quick times as I completely balls it into the parabolica there. But we managed to still set a really good time despite that. So I go into qualifying pretty confident that we're going to get a good result. When we skip forward, by the time we get to the end of the session, we do get to the top of the timesheets, but I know in this game that the AI tend to turn up the wick in qualifying, so it's not always representative in practice. But yeah, let's get out and see what we can do in qualifying. As you can see, I started very late in qualifying and I completely balls my first lap. So this next 2 laps is crucial. I decided to fuel up for 2 laps in a row just in case, because that was terrible. I needed to go faster. After my first timed lap that I completed, I still wasn't out of the drop zone, so I got to push even harder now, and also still not make a mistake. So this is my final Q1 lap with it all on the line. I'm trying to find the best lines through every corner, trying not to scrub any speed because this car is just slow. And yeah, our straight line performance isn't great. Even with 1-1 wings, we just have nothing in straight line, as you'll see later in the race. As Senna gets right in our way there, surely impeding another car to make sure that we don't overtake him in in the qualifying there. But I guess that's why he doesn't have a seat anymore in Formula One. As we come around the Parabolica, do we get through to Q2? I have to give it everything out of this last corner. It's looking good. And we go fastest again. What an absolute stonker.
Good work. We're through to the next session.
So I know in Q2 there's rain expected, but once again, not sure really when. So I decided to just go out there and just set a lap straight away. I know it's going to be very important. And as soon as we get out, I can see drops of rain straight away. So I knew this first lap was going to be very important. And if I didn't set a good time here, I was certainly not getting out of Q2. Took the first Lesmo a bit tight there. This second Lesmo you take right on the curb, but at first Lesmo it's better to go a little bit wider. I found that the middle line is actually a bit faster. But come to the end of the lap, I noticed that the rears are getting a little cold. So the track temperature is, well, the tyres are definitely not staying warm, basically. And we across the line third, and I think to myself, surely the track will degrade a heap. And I go to the timing screens and notice that people are still posting fast times. And I hope that we have enough of a buffer that the rain comes and obliterates it. So instead of going straight out another lap, I decide to skip forward and just take the risk. But I'm like right on the cusp here, so it wasn't probably very smart. And I noticed that Daniel's just done Daniel's 9/10 faster than me, and I just get knocked out, and I'm like, far out. I've got to go out one more time, and I think I've left it all a bit too late. Like the clouds are looking a bit nasty out there, so I hum and har about going for another lap and decide in the end to just give it a go. So, if worst comes to worst, we get knocked out. If we can get the track in an okay condition, we'll be fine. So, yeah, this is our final time lap in Q2. I know that there's not much point in going out after this because I know that the track's going to just continue deteriorating. And at first, the first half of the lap is really decent. Like I'm able to go much faster and still carry the speed. But by the time we get to the Parabolicas, the Lesmos here, the car the rear tires at the very least are cooling down very quickly, and I'm losing time. All through that section, I'm just losing time. I had no confidence going into those two corners, and we have no speed down the straight, just because of the nature of our car. And by the time we get to the third sector, we're 2.3 seconds down. So we went from being 2/10 up on the fastest time to being 2.3 seconds down. So I just abandoned the lap and just resigned myself to our fate. And our fate is P17. Pretty much at the back, but it's going to be a wet race, and you know how well we do in the wet, so it can only go up from here, hopefully. Alright, starting on inters for the race. I decided not to go too far into strategy because there's a non-zero chance that it won't be wet the whole race. So there will be some changeable strategy, and I've found that there's almost no benefit to running in rich fuel mode at any point in the race. We just don't have the fuel saving for that. So let's rip in. It's Rosberg on pole, accidental rival, and Daniel's just ahead of us in P14, I believe, P16, I believe. Yeah, no, P15. There you go. And we've got Raikkonen back here with us as well. But let's see how we go into the first corner. Hopefully no crazy shenanigans into turn one. Off the line and away we go. It's a pretty decent start, which definitely bucks the trend of recent races. If you've not seen my starts, they are horrifying usually. I'm just very careful here. I don't want to brake too late because I don't want to also lock up, because I wasn't sure the condition of the track and whether this was the right sort of tyres. But after a few corners you can sort of tell whether or not it's okay, and given all the spray I was sure that we were on the correct compound. So coming out of T1 2 I decided to just go for it and brake as late as I can. Again, I'm just sort of guessing where the grip is as we dive down the inside here of the Lotus. Someone goes off the track there. Very easy to do in these conditions, and we gain a few places just before the Lesmos here. And yeah, that's what I was saying, that outside line tends to be very quick in Lesmo 1. Lesmo 2, you want to be tucked in right where Massa is there. But we've got the slipstream of Hulkenberg in front of us as Massa's trying to get past. I try to squeeze him out. He is faster in a straight line, but we brake as late as we can. Cutting the corner there as we do it. Catching right up to the back of Hulkenberg. And we've got Massa all over our gearbox there behind us. It's a little scary because the Tifosi are putting a lot of pressure down. They obviously want some good results today, and having a Ferrari right behind you at Italy's not the best feeling as he has a look coming down the main straight. Their speed advantage is definitely balked a little bit in the wet, which is good for us, because normally we would have been toast down there as we brake sort of normally. And I get a really good, I must have slowed down too much because Massa just runs straight into the back of us and is falling into the clutch of the cars behind him. But we have a good run coming out of turn 2, and I decide to go around the outside of Hulkenberg here with Schumacher and Grosjean right in front of us. I make it stick. That becomes a very good overtaking spot for us this race. As we fast forward a little bit later down the lap, now we're catching Schumacher, and there's a bunch of cars in front of us that have all sort of checked up going around the Parabolica here, and there is an opportunity here to go around Schumacher, and we take it. We take Schumacher around Parabolica, and now we've got Grosjean next. Making really good progress. I'm almost hoping for the rain to continue because, yeah, just the speed advantage we get in the wet is definitely well worth it as we brake as hard as we dare going into T1 here. And Schumacher tries to go around Grosjean, and Grosjean just squeezes him out to the gravel there. That was a bit rude, but now we're in the points, which is really good. So making really good progress here. Skipping a bit later, Kobayashi has gone into the pits, and now we're on the back of Perez, and I've got Di Resta as well in front of him. We've broken away from Grosjean behind, which is good. So from my point of view, P7 is a reality in this race. We go around the outside of Perez here, making the same overtake again as we did on Hulkenberg earlier. It was a clean move, and we're traveling really well. I've got good pace. I feel like I've got good control. I'm not overdriving the car, so that's all very positive. So now we've got to catch up to Di Resta to make something happen. As Perez is trying again around our outside. The Ferrari engine is definitely the better engine to have, and that Sauber is definitely not a bad car. As we just duck on the inside again, going through the chicane here. Then we've got the Lotus of Grosjean's caught right back up to us, and there's Kobayashi as well. But we managed to hold off Perez, and Kobayashi has made his way through again. So he's made it in front of Perez and that, and he's right behind us now. And we've got Di Resta just ahead of us. But things start to cool down here. As we catch Di Resta, I feel as though like the gap in front is probably a little bit too big. So P6 at the moment is definitely on the cards, as we're in a little bit of no man's land here. As we go to our favourite hunting ground, we get a really good exit out of that corner every time. So we dance around the outside of Di Resta. Good, clean overtake. Moving forward in this race. Another fastest sector. We just keep going faster and faster and faster. So seems to be no limit to where we can get to in this race at the moment. As we skip forward a couple of laps, the track is drying, and the driving is becoming a little bit more difficult. But the timing for the pit stop for drives is important. If you go too early, you lose so much time with cold, dry tires. If we go too late, then we're gonna just cook these into. So there's already been one pit, so we've jumped a place there. We're up to P5, which is probably not representative. Like when we go through the pits, the person that's already could probably overtake us again. But skipping to lap 10, I'm still going relatively fast as we lock up into that chicane there. I know now that it is probably time to think about going on to dries, because although they're not exactly overheating yet on the temperature, as soon as the tyres start acting like that and the grip starts to go in the braking zone, it's probably a good idea to go into the pits. And I see that the cars in front have not decided to pit, but I've decided to go in anyway. I'm going to get these tyres off and get some dries on. We've only got 3 laps of racing to go, so we've got virtually nothing to lose, as everyone behind us follows us in. So this is a packed pit lane once again, as we change on to the hard tyres, the medium tyres I should say. And we lose a few places for some faster pit stops there, which is a little bit frustrating, but it is 3 laps to the end. And we've got 3 laps to catch Kobayashi at the very least, and I'm pretty confident that that's something we can do. I felt like this whole race we've been faster than the Saubers, so I'm hoping that we're still fast on dry tyres as well. I just wanted to be a bit careful because I knew that there were still some wet patches on the track. But once again, great run out of that corner. Kobayashi goes completely defensive. I didn't really feel confident of doing a massive dive bomb there, because again I wasn't sure what the condition of the tyres was going to be. As we skip to the end of lap 11, start of lap 12, everyone must have already pit, I think. They must have come in and out, such as the gap, and there they are. As I dive down the inside of Kobayashi, did not intend to make that move there. He was just a lot slower into the braking zone than what I was expecting. And yeah, just make that P5 stick, and now we've got Maldonado in front of us. And I know that the cars in front of me have colder tyres, and we're a lap in, and our tyres are not even up to temperature yet. So the track is not ideal for dries just yet, but they're definitely not ideal for inters. So as Kobayashi has another go around our outside, coming out of the second Lesmo there, and I keep the run on him going into the back straight. It's a good exit. This time I choose the outside, as I want that sweep into the Parabolica. I decide not to go defensive, just brake really late and then hug the inside curb there and use all the runoff. And this is it. This is the final lap. We're basically battling for P5. There's virtually no... There's now suddenly 2 Rosbergs. I don't know what that's about, but alright. As we're in full defense mode here. We've got Maldonado right in front of us, but the Williams is faster. So I'm not hugely confident that we'll catch him, but I just want to stay in front of Kobayashi, and I know this second Lesmo is my worst enemy in terms of my exit speed, because every single time the AI are able to catch right up and overtake me as he has, and I'm hoping to do the same thing again, but he's got a much better run this lap than he did last lap. So I'll just tuck in, using the normal line right on his gearbox, flat to the floor at the moment, and we have a run, but I don't use curves, which I think in hindsight is a bit annoying because I should have. So I have to brake really late into the parabolic, and we touch. I knock him, and he loses control. He spins off, and we get a penalty. We have a penalty right at the end, and that pushes us all the way down to 12th. It was such a good race, and we absolutely mince it all in the last corner. I mean, obviously didn't have full control of the car and slid and touched Kobayashi there, and it's frustrating. I mean, he was still able to manage 8th place, which is fine, but we got absolutely stitched up there. The only consolation I have is that we beat Daniel, but it is a very disappointing result. Given our pace and given everything in this race, this is one that certainly got away. But looking ahead to the Drivers' Championship now, like Lewis and Jensen are both 1 and 2, so the McLarens are overtaking Red Bull at the moment. They're definitely the faster team. And my team is celebrating, but in my head, I am screaming. That was frustrating. Hey, look, at least they're happy with me. I can take the small wins where I get them. Is Waters leaving Toro Rosso? Do we have some more contract offers? Hopefully we have something from Red Bull. We have been waiting for some sort of news from them. So let's have a quick squiz at what's going on. We have three contract offers. Well, that is exciting. I am going to wait until the next episode to show that what those are. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Next race is the Singapore Grand Prix, and we will have a look at these contract offers and see what's in store for Christian Waters then. So thank you, everyone. If you like the video, please subscribe and comment any suggestions that you might have, and I'll see you guys next time.